I've been lying to my son for 24 years, and it all started when he was 6 years old, running into the living room with a little brown paper bag, eyes wide with pride, saying, "Happy birthday, Dad." And inside was a mug with a cartoonish manatee smiling back at me. And at that moment I froze because my first thought was, manatees, really? But then I saw his hopeful little face, trembling slightly, waiting for my reaction, and I knew I couldn't break his heart. So I smiled and said, "Of course, buddy, manatees are my favorite animals in the whole wide world." And that tiny innocent lie grew into a 24-year saga of manatee gifts, with every birthday, Christmas, and random occasion bringing shirts, mugs, calendars, plushies, and even a beer stein collection I never asked for, all proudly displayed in my home while I internally groaned and thought, I love dogs, not manatees. Yet I could never tell him because he was so thrilled, so thoughtful, so excited to give me something he thought I truly loved. And over the years I played along, nodding, laughing, saying things like, "Wow, you know me so well," while secretly rolling my eyes at the endless parade of manatee items. But it was all worth it to see his pure joy, his pride in giving, and the love he poured into every single gift. Fast forward to now, he's turning 30. I'm turning 55, and he's booked a Christmas trip to Florida for the two of us to see manatees in the wild, telling everyone in the family, including my ex-wife, how excited I am, while I panic internally, knowing that the secret I've kept for nearly a quarter of a century is about to become front and center, imagining us on a boat under the warm sun, binoculars in hand. Him pointing and squealing at every gentle, gliding manatee, the soft splash of water, the calls of seabirds, and the smell of salt in the air, and me grinning like a kid playing along in the world's longest harmless deception. Thinking about how absurd it is to have spent decades pretending to adore a creature I find charming, but not fascinating, and yet feeling a quiet triumph and deep love in my chest for having maintained a secret that made him happy, replaying the memory of his 6-year-old eyes looking up at me with pure trust, and the guilt and laughter that mix every time I see another manatee mug or plushie appear. And I sit at night on the hotel balcony, warm breeze brushing my face, reflecting on the years of little lies that were never malicious, but built entirely out of love. Thinking about how someday he might find out, how he might laugh or be shocked. But today, the happiness in his eyes makes every fake "wow, I love it" worth it, and I realize that some lies aren't lies at all. They're acts of devotion, patience, and connection. And that parenting often means swallowing your own preferences to celebrate someone else's. And in this case, that means spending a week pretending manatees are my favorite animals while watching my son marvel at each gentle creature, laughing uncontrollably at his enthusiasm, joking with him about their silly faces, secretly thinking about dogs the entire time, but knowing that this absurd game of love has created memories far richer than any truth could have. And when we return home, I'll continue to display every manatee gift with pride, chuckling to myself about the 24-year realizing that the ultimate reward was never seeing a manatee, but seeing him, witnessing his joy, feeling his love, and knowing that sometimes the most satisfying long-term revenge or deception isn't about humiliation or karma at all. It's about preserving happiness and cherishing the absurd, heartwarming bonds we build in the name of love. So if this story made you laugh, cry, or shake your head in disbelief, remember to hit that like button, comment your own longest-kept secret or harmless lie, and subscribe to Karma Writes for more stories that pull at your heartstrings, make you question what you do for love, and remind you that sometimes the funniest, strangest, and most emotional adventures come from the smallest seeds of innocence planted decades ago. This